students! Hello everyone! How are you today? I hope you are always fine, happy, and healthy. Welcome back to Miss Mery's class. So, before we study, let's pray together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi zidni ilma warzuqni fahma. Amin. Okay students, welcome back to Miss Mery's class. So today, what is our lesson now? Who knows? That's right, our lesson now is English. Today we will learn about English for 6th grade of Darul Quran International Primary School, of course with Miss Mery. So, before we study, let's say Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And what is our chapter today? Who knows? That's right, our chapter today is Unit 8. Let's learn. So, in the end of the lesson, I hope you are able to read an interview with a firefighter and talk about obligations in the past. Okay, before we continue to our lesson today, have 7 vocabularies of the day, so you can listen it and repeat it, please. Okay, don't forget to listen it carefully and repeat it. 7 vocabularies of the day. Hero. Hero. Study. Study. Take exams. Take exams. Accident. Accident. Rescue. Rescue. Cry. Cry. Smoke. Smoke. Okay, next we are going to reading part, so don't forget to listen it carefully and then you can read it. So after that you will answer the questions based on the text. So let's listen, read and answer questions carefully.
Activity 1. What do you think firefighters do? Listen, read and check your answers. Everyday heroes. Tim West interviews firefighter John Mery.
What did you have to do to become a firefighter?
I had to study and take some exams. Then I had to train very hard. Of course, I also had to exercise every day.
I see. So we all know that firefighters put out fires. Tell us, what else do you do?
Well, we also help save people after earthquakes, car accidents, or accidents in the house.
So, what's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
Last year, during a fire, I had to rescue a 5-year-old girl from a basement. The whole house was on fire and the walls were falling down.
How did you rescue her?
I had to break down the basement door. There was so much smoke that I couldn't see anything. I could only hear the girl crying, and that's how I found her.
It sounds like a hard job.
It is, but I love it.
Okay, next, let's read again the text and complete the sentences. So for number 1, people have to study, blah blah blah, and train very hard to become firefighters. So the answer for the number 1 is, that's right, take exams. Next, question number 2. Firefighters help people during fires, blah blah blah, or accidents. So the answer for number 2 is, that's right, after earthquakes. Next question. John Mery had to rescue a young girl during blah blah blah. So, number 3, the answer for number 3 is, that's right, a fire. Next question. The young girl was in the blah blah blah. The answer for number 4 is past month. Next question. He found her because she was blah blah blah. So the answer is crying. The last number, number 6. John Mery blah 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 his job. So the answer is, that's right, the answer for the last number is loves. Okay students, next we will learn about grammar. So grammar of the day, it's about the structure of had to. Last week we learned about the structure of has to or have to. So we use have to or has to express the obligation in the present and future. But the structure of had to, we use had to express obligation in the past. So let's review about the structure of has to and have to, and let's learn the structure of had to. Okay, let's review first. It's about have to or don't have to. Use have to express obligation when something is necessary in the present or future. We form it by adding the base form of the verb after have to. So, we use don't have to express absence of obligations when something is not necessary in the present or future. We form it by adding the base form of the verb after don't have to. Affirmative or positive form. I or you or we or they use have to eat. For the example, I have to eat. But for he or she or it, use has to eat. For example, the boys have to wake up at 8 in the morning. So, negative form. I or you or we or they use don't have to eat. Don't have to eat. But for he or she or it, use doesn't have to eat. Use doesn't, so after doesn't, use have to, not has to. For the example, he doesn't have to eat. Next, for interrogative form. Do I or you or we or they have to eat? But for he, she, it, use does and have to. For the example, does she have to eat? Okay, next, let's learn about the structure of had to. We use had to express obligation in the past. We form it by adding the base form of the verb after had to. For affirmative or positive form, I or you or we or they and he or she or it, use had to it. So for interrogative, use did, and after that subject or I or you or we or they or she or he or it, use have to. Use have to. For example, did she have to eat? So for the next example, I was in space for 4 months. I had to wash with a sponge. Okay, next, let's exercise by complete the sentences with have to, has to, or had to. Question number 1. My mom, blah blah blah, mop every day because the floors get dirty. So, the answer for number 1, have to, or has to, or had to. Which one? That's right. Number 1 is has to. My mom has to mop every day because the floors get dirty. Why we use has to? Because my mom back to she. My mom, it means she. So for he or she or it, use has to. Number 2. What time do you blah 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 be at school in the morning? The answer for number 2, have to or has to or had to. Which one do you choose? That's right. Number 2 is have to, because the subject is you. You use have to. What time do you have to be at school in the morning? Next number 3. We blah 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 cook something. The children are hungry. So the answer for number 3 is have to or has to or had to. That's right. Number 3 is have to, because the subject is we. For we, use have to. So number 3, we have to cook something. The children are hungry. Next number 4. My cousin, blah blah blah, worked very hard to become a firefighter. After 3 years, he has become a great firefighter. So the answer is, which one do you choose? Have to or has to or had to? Look at number 4. The keyword for number 4 is after 3 years. After 3 years. So it means the obligation has happened in the past. So to express the obligation has happened in the past, that we use had to. It means the answer for number 4 is had to. My cousin had to work very hard to become a firefighter. After 3 years, he has become a great firefighter. Number 5. We blah 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 be quiet. That is sleeping. So the answer is have to or has to or had to. Which one do you choose? That's right. Number 5 is have to. We have to be quiet. Dad is sleeping. The last number. Tom is tired because he blah 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 studied for an exam last night. Look at the question number 6 or the last number. The keyword for the last number is last night. It means the obligation has happened in the past. So to express the obligation has happened in the past, that we use had to. It means for number 6, Tom is tired because he had to study for an exam last night. Okay, students, that's all our lesson today. Let's close our lesson today by saying Hamdalah, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you so much for your time, for your cooperation and your attention. Don't forget to always study hard at your home and do your homework and collect your homework on time. So